Oh, welcome back. Oh, hi. I'm Marc. I used to be a senior artist at Blizzard Entertainment, and now I teach art for a living. I've had a long professional career, and I've gone through many ups and downs along the way. And in this week's YouTube Art School episode, I want to focus on those downs, on the lows that we face as artists, and how to avoid them. I'm here with a few warnings based on science. You should keep in mind to give yourself the best chances to succeed as an artist and in your studies. Very serious business. The warnings will also be based on personal experience and also my students' experience, in the sense that I've personally experienced or witnessed what I'm about to discuss. This stuff could mean the difference between a successful life and a fulfilling life as an artist, or a miserable one. So get comfortable, grab a drink, and let's get this class started. Alright, class is in session. Pay attention and pay the class fee. In return, I'll keep producing lovingly crafted weekly art classes just for you. Not a bad deal. Also, I just wanted to take a second to highlight a crazy milestone that I just passed, aka 6,000 students taking my art school program over the last 3+ years, and that's without counting those that only got the individual terms. It's blown past all my expectations, and I couldn't be more thankful to all of you who joined the program. If that's you, let me know in the comments. It would be awesome to see how many students watch these videos that I personally consider a great extension to the program. Now, back on topic. It's warning time. 3 warnings to be exact. As I discuss those over the next couple minutes, I'll let this time lapse of my newest painting play in the background, and it's a painting that I started in my previous YouTube art school video about shading that you can find in the top right corner of the screen right here if you're interested. Here's the first warning. Not in order of importance, it's all very important. Don't tie your happiness to external rewards, like likes and comments. If you do, and it's human nature, which makes this very hard to avoid unless you're aware of it. But if you do, you're opting for short-term reward at the detriment of your long-term motivation and success. Or in other words, don't favor external rewards, like the number of likes and comments, over internal rewards, like the happiness that you get after working hard and seeing a new skill improve as a result. This one is a massive problem almost nobody seems to be talking about. This needs a little bit of context first, though. I need to quickly explain what happens in the brain when you feel good about something. Might sound complex, but don't worry, it'll be super quick. You might already know this, but this is important to understand before I mention anything else, so pay attention if you're not sure how that works exactly. As simply as I can put it, when you feel good, it's primarily as a result of your brain producing the hormone dopamine, the happy hormone. You get this hormone anytime something happens that makes you feel good, regardless if that thing is actually good for you or not. The hormone doesn't make a difference. The main thing to keep in mind here is that we always get used to anything thrown our way. It's human nature. If something gives you happiness, the more it happens, the less happy the same thing will make you feel over time, right? Things always feel better the first time. If you win a trophy once, you'll feel so good about it. But if you win that same trophy every day after that, that happiness will wear off real quick. If you take a dopamine-inducing substance once, and I'm sure you know what I'm referring to here, you'll probably feel pretty good from what I've heard, but you'll get used to it, and the same amount will make you feel less and less happy unless you keep increasing the dose. That's why it's dangerous. Now that we have more context for the warning, what happens when you feel happy about a like or a comment on your art when posting on social media, for example? That's right, you get a dopamine hit. You get the happy hormone. However, you get it as a result of an external factor. I discovered that feeling very young when I started posting on DeviantArt many thousand years ago. I would post a painting and see a bunch of people liking it and leaving nice comments. That felt great. That's the happiness hormone. It made me want to make more. Great, right? Whatever gets you to make art is surely good. That's the warning. Short term, it will feel great, yes. But in the same way that any opioids might make you feel great. If you always get the same number of likes on your paintings despite your efforts though, just like winning a trophy every day, you'll get used to the external reward. Not continuously getting more each time will make you less and less happy over time. Okay, well, what if you get more and more likes and comments each time then? Would that keep the happiness going? And once again, like upping the dose of an opioid, you'll feel good, but you'll get used to that too. You'll get used to the number of likes going up, and after some time, maybe years, the number of likes or comments that you get won't mean anything. Like it's been in my case for some years now. If anything now, it works against me. If a painting or a drawing gets a lot of likes, that was mostly expected by now. I don't get a particular hit of dopamine here. It doesn't really make me happy anymore. But if it doesn't do well, on the other hand, now a part of me will feel bad instead. So if you get all your happiness from external rewards, the second that it goes away, the reason to keep working hard goes away along with it. Don't be an external reward junkie. Don't do it, bro. There was an actual study done at Stanford some years ago regarding this. You can Google the name Marc. He's the one behind the study to see, all the details, but they did this exact experiment with kids. They would offer rewards to kids who loved drawing each time they drew. The kids grew to associate the drawing with the external reward. When they stopped getting the rewards, the kids stopped drawing, even though they were doing it for no rewards at all at first. Since they no longer received the external reward, there was no happiness left when the external reward was taken away. Don't make art for external rewards only. Instead, work for internal rewards. That's going to keep you happy for life. Granted that you keep working on your skills. The tricky part here is that internal rewards only come after you sit down and focus on your skills. It doesn't come easy, but that's what makes it long-lasting. I think it's okay to have a small portion of your happiness tied to external rewards like likes and comments. But keep in mind that this will eventually die out, and in some cases, very early on. So you'll want to have internal rewards left to keep going. Otherwise, you'll end up just like those kids from the Stanford research. You'll stop. Second warning, eliminate external rewards while drawing or painting. Another way to say this could also be to eliminate happiness triggering distractions when painting. As I mentioned, you get a dopamine hit every time something that makes you feel good happens. One thing that's incredibly damaging to your progress and motivation as an artist will be to introduce easy external rewards while you're drawing. I don't mean music here. I mean when you stop working on your painting to check Instagram or check your messages from friends. Those things make you feel good. They're a cheap dopamine hit, not unlike taking an illicit substance. They don't take any effort. Unfortunately for us, our brain is lazy and it will always prefer the easier route to happiness, even if in the long term this can lead to the opposite and be detrimental to us. Over time, you'll get to associate the drawing part with the slow reward that takes a lot of effort to trigger, and the distractions with easy happiness that the brain would much rather do. You're reinforcing the idea that drawing equals no immediate happiness, while fun distractions equal happiness. The more that you let yourself do this, the less likely you'll be to sit down and draw in the future. I say let yourself do this here, since it's human nature once again. If you don't try to work on this, we all naturally gravitate to the easy external reward. I've had to work really hard on myself to fix that, and still do. Now, whenever I sit down to paint or draw, I always make sure to put headphones on with some good music, get a drink, or whatever it is I need to do before I get started to minimize potential distractions while I'm making art. Music or listening to a podcast is great since it's something that you can do without looking. It actually helps you be less distracted, however contradictory that might sound. With no distractions, you make progress much faster, and the internal reward that you get from feeling that you're getting better happens a lot faster too. Once again here, the internal reward is what we're after for long-term happiness and motivation. You just have to reinforce that over many art sessions and always make a conscious effort to avoid distractions while you focus on your art. Oh, and the last warning. Don't oversaturate your life with art. Once again here, this might seem contradictory, but to keep on the right track as an artist and avoid all sorts of burnouts and loss of motivation, don't focus every single minute of your life on art. As I explained in the previous class on the science of learning faster, that you can find in the top right corner of the screen here, by the way, I highly recommend it. But as I explained, our focus is limited. It's different for everyone too. Some people can focus longer, others can do it for very long. But when you're constantly focusing, it gets physically tiring. The brain uses a lot of calories, and that's not usually something that our bodies like to do. We're all inherently lazy. Our brain is lazy. If you don't ever take time to defocus and do something else that requires no focus at all, like taking a walk, going for a jog, playing a sport, hitting the gym. You'll overwork yourself, and I guarantee you that you'll burn out and kill your motivation to do art eventually. It happened to me a few times throughout my career before I figured out what was happening. And by the way, playing a video game is not defocusing. It's a very focus-intense activity. Nice try. Instead, defocus. Take breaks. Have something else going in your life. Don't oversaturate it with art. You might think that you're getting ahead by practicing more than everyone, but just like I learned for myself the hard way, that's never long lasting and you'll eventually come crashing down, getting the opposite results that you were initially hoping for by being unable to get yourself to sit down and do some art, even though you might absolutely love it. When you burn out, it's lights out for a while, sometimes a very long while. It's kind of just like a sport injury. Don't overwork your brain, don't oversaturate your life with art, defocus more, and profit. So, to recap, don't tie your happiness and worth as an artist to external rewards. Try eliminating all external rewards while you're creating art, and don't overdo it. Take breaks from art. These are warnings that I wish someone told me before I experienced their negative impacts for myself. So I hope these will help some of you. And this is going to be it for this week's class. If you made it this far, congratulations. You earned a freebie. In the top right corner of the screen and down in the description below, you'll find a link to download one of my 2 sets of brushes that I use on a daily basis, many of which I use for this painting here. If you don't have them already, that is. If you make something cool using them, tag me on social media. I love seeing what you create and will often share it too to send some extra traffic your way. If today's class helped, share it with a friend, share it with your crush, share it with someone who's complained that they lost motivation to do art. Do it. Oh, and make sure to turn on notifications to be notified when next week's video drops.